Hello, friends. Welcome to Soul Shift Coaching. I am David Hale. Thank you for being here. I want to touch on two very important topics. If you are in the mindset, if you're wanting or willing to make a change, to walk this path of transformation. One of them is about denying ourselves certain creature comforts, and the other one is physical activity. Many, many moons ago at my first rehab, I went to two of them. Fortunately, there wasn't a third one. At the first one, there was there's a man of faith there. He had spent his career in the Navy, and then he was there helping to minister to all of us who are suffering from drugs and alcohol addiction. And he was classic. One of his lines was, "Boy, I've puked more than you drank," which was kind of funny. But more importantly, more pertinent to this conversation, is he said, "Save your ass and your head will follow." Save your ass and your head will follow. This was a man of the cloth, which is kind of funny, but you know, those Catholics can curse from time to time. So do I, as a former Marine. And what he meant by that was like, look, get out of your head, keep things very simple, and just get healthy. For me, it was putting the plug in the jug and just allowing the removal of the alcohol to just provide space and time and clarity and peace for me to start to actually think about where the heck I'd been for the last 15 years. And though I know not all of you deal with addiction by any means, there is absolutely some of us that need to get into shape. It's very easy to get into shape and stay in shape than to get out, get in, get out, get in. I mean, that mirrors so much of our lives, does it not? Hot, cold, in, out. No, it's much, much better. It's like parenting or at a job. Consistency breeds confidence, and consistency is a major part of transformation. And so when we think about the physical activity, the physical impact, or the impact that physicality and being in shape has on your mental state is, in my humble opinion, is exponential. It is a fundamental element of walking this path of transformation. Why? Well, for if no other reason, you just feel better. When we eat right and get the sleep that we need and stay hydrated, we just feel better. And when we feel better, we're more inclined to engage the frictions of life, to engage the vicissitudes of life, just from a better position. I've said it many times. If any terrorist ever wants to get information out of me, just keep me up. And if you want to bring me down mentally, well, let me just eat like crap for, a month or two, which is what happens during every holiday season, right? When I come out of the holidays, there's just I don't want to say a melancholy, but there's just a heaviness to my being. And it's because I've been consuming so much crud, the cheeses and the creams and the sugars and all that stuff. And I have a serious sugar problem, if for no other reason, because of being a recovered alcoholic. The body processes those sugars in similar fashions, right? So many alcoholics, after they put down the drink, are just crushing sugar, and I was one of them. And I can still be that person, right? There was, just like me drinking a 6-pack or less was a waste of time 20 years ago, me eating one donut is a waste of time. Give me 4, or those little 3-packs of the Krispy Kremes? I'll crush those on the drive home from the store. Anyway. Having a physical goal is a critical element to walking this path of transformation and living into the fullness of our calling. Now, this year, 2025, is a big year, and it's a big year for a lot of people. I don't know what it is, but it just seems like everyone I talk to has major milestones this year. I'm no different. This year started off with me turning 50, and throughout this whole year, there's about 10 or 12 major milestones that will occur this year, whether it's 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, 40 years. There's these waypoints, and what a major waypoint this year for me is I am attempting to do, and I'm going to do, the Leadville 100, which is a 100-mile foot race. A buddy of mine are doing it. It's this August in Colorado, and so I've commenced training for that. Well, as a 50-year-old man, I need to do certain things more so than maybe a 25-year-old or a 30-year-old. And so I'm having to do a lot of other health modalities. So, for example, I started to do acupuncture recently, and it's amazing. If any of y'all, I strongly suggest you try acupuncture. I've had severe tightness and pain, for lack of a better word, in my hips for years. And so I started going to this acupuncturist, and it's been remarkable, and my strides have been tremendous. And as we're trying to get into that next phase to truly extinguish all pain and all soreness, at the close of the last session, she says, "Do you drink coffee?" I laughed. I said, "I drink enough coffee to kill a crocodile. I mean, I crush coffee." And I didn't start drinking coffee until I put down the booze. So it's been a relatively recent thing. But the reality is for years I've known that I drink coffee alcoholically. Like it is one of those areas of my life where my disease is alive and well because of the way I approach it. Normal people don't drink a cup of, a full pitcher of coffee a day. And now, granted, I like getting stuff done and I check boxes and it helps. But I've known for years that I was going to eventually have to face this aspect of my life where I don't exercise good discipline or self-control. And so when I said this to her, her eyes got big and she says, "Well, caffeine is a major contributor to tightness and soreness from your hips down your IT band and so forth." And you would have thought that it was 25 years ago and someone was asking me to quit drinking. I mean, my eyes got big. I got a little nervous. My heart started beating because I knew deep in my soul that this was coming. And now it's arrived. If I want to accomplish this thing in August, this 100-mile foot race, which is obviously mental, physical, and spiritual endeavor, well, then I got to start doing things that I need to do. And so am I serious? I have to look myself in the mirror and say, do I want this? I say it. People say stuff all the time. But the reality, and I made a video about this a while back, it's the alignment of the thoughts with the actions. We can talk a good game, but am I willing to put myself out there and actually follow through on this thing? So I am now, this is 1 week into my severe cutback. I've cut my coffee/caffeine consumption in half. And so not only did I want to talk about the importance of having a physical goal to help us drive through life. And the physical goal can be anything. It just depends on where you are. It doesn't matter if it doesn't need to be a 100-mile race or an Ironman or a marathon or any of that stuff. Maybe it's a 15-minute walk around the block. Maybe it's getting back into the pool and swimming. Maybe it's biking. I don't know what it is, but are you pushing yourself out of your comfort zone at least once a week? Because I tell you, if you're not doing that and you're not watching what you eat, you're moving backwards. Our food industry, let's just say you have to be very intentional about what you eat. It's so difficult to get rid of all processed sugars. It's incredibly difficult. And sugar is an absolute killer. It kills us. And it comes in myriad forms. All right. But if I'm serious about this thing, transformation, and I want to actually do what I talk about and when I engage my clients, then I've got to make sure that I'm doing things in my own life to stay hungry, to stay fresh, to stay raw, to stay real. And so not only did I have this physical goal, I'm just a better person when I have a physical goal to go for. Well, another major part of transformation, and this is why physical goals are so good, there's also denying of oneself. It is very easy to be comfortable in today's world. I can have one cupcake delivered, right? I can have anything my heart's desires delivered. We have running water. We have air conditioning. We have heating. I mean, the electric blankets. I mean, the list goes, it's ad infinitum that we can talk about the creature comforts, pillows, right? Do we have the right pillow? Do we have the right mattress? All this stuff, which are important. But the reality is that, the hierarchy of needs, right? Maslow's hierarchy of needs, we need to keep that fresh in our mind sometimes because we can get real spoiled real quick. So one of the questions, so I now have to deny myself a major comfort of mine, coffee and that drive of getting jacked on caffeine. And so I'm going to slowly wean my way down to decaf. And I know decaf has caffeine, but for me, that's going from, a full flipping pot a day down to, a cup, if you will, which is a radical decrease. The funny thing is, and it's not funny at all, since I've just over this last week that I've cut down my caffeine consumption, the sensitivity to the world around me has increased significantly. My sensitivity to the spirit, the depth of quiet time, the quality of quiet time has gone into a new realm. My ability to engage in conversations at a deeper level has improved. I'm sleeping better. I mean, just the impact after 1 week is remarkable by me simply denying myself something that I've leaned on for years as a crutch. And see, when I also stay physically in shape and stay well, then the human body is wired to, it's not like I'm just going to nod off. I'm not a narcoleptic. It's not like I need all this caffeine. If I take care of my body, it will give me the energy that I need. And then I can listen to my body. And when I'm tired, I can take a little cat nap. I can go to bed at 9:30. I can do what I need to do and actually listen to my body rather than constantly override it. See, all these energy drinks and my caffeine and all this stuff, we're overriding the natural ebbs and flows of our body. And that over time gets us into trouble. We peter out. We end up face planting. And when we override the natural rhythms of our body and don't treat it as we should, that oozes into other areas of our life. And it ends up impacting the quality of our life because it impacts the quality of our relationships. And so, my dear friends, as we engage 2025, Q1 is almost done. We have to think about, what are we denying ourselves? We're actually in the season of Lent. It's always good to do those denials from time to time, cutting off sugar, cutting off, the IT in the world, cutting off cursing. You can fast from anything, but cutting something off, denying yourself something that you've been leaning on is always a wonderful discipline. And secondly, do you have a physical goal? And it doesn't matter what it is. Do you want to bench 2.25, 5 times by 5 sets? Do you want to be able to run a half marathon? Do you want to do a 5K? What do you want to do so that you can feel good about driving toward that, getting healthier and removing something from your life? Because if you're going to go after a physical goal, you're going to have to stop doing some things. And the combination of going after a physical goal and denying yourself some things, the combination of those two things will propel you into a new phase in your life. So I humbly suggest to you, find your physical goal that you want to go for, whether it's a 3-month, 6-month, 9-month goal, whatever it is. And then pick one thing that you're going to deny yourself significantly during that mission of achieving your physical goal. Because self-denial and physical health will help you transform yourself and help you live into the person you're created to be, because you have a calling. You are here for a specific purpose, and you are the best at knowing you and feeding you what you need the most. And that's in part what I'm doing here at Soul Shift Coaching. Engaging you on a one-on-one basis where we can start to unpack those things that either keep you hindered, keep you stuck, or that you have just not had the encouragement or the know-how or the discipline to actually go after those goals, right? And so I'd be honored and privileged if you actually invited me into your world and I can help you walk this path of transformation. It's what I've been blessed to do now for almost 20 years. And if life is nothing else, well, isn't it constantly reinventing ourselves? We need to keep doing things to make sure that we can keep deriving meaning in our lives and that we can stay hungry and that we can keep receiving the transformation so we can then keep passing it on, so we can be a conduit for constant transformation for ourselves and those people in our spheres of influence. If you like this content, my dear friends, please give me a thumbs up, leave a comment. I'd love to hear from you, and please subscribe. I'm trying to increase my subscribers this year. And you can also see in the description box below 2 links. One is my coaching site, soulshift.org, where you can go there and learn more about me, my style, my approach. And the other one is book coaching, where you can schedule a free consultation. And you and I can connect to see about where you are, and who you want to become. And more importantly, how you want to get there. Because I'd be honored and privileged to help you walk that path of transformation. Stand tall, my dear friends. Stand firm. You're worth it.